My name is Lillian. I am 29 years old. 8 years ago, I was just a nanny looking for work. I didn't know that one small job interview would change my entire life. When I first met Ethan, he was only 3 years old. He had big brown eyes and a quiet nature. He didn't talk much. His father, Mr. Alexander Reed, was a widower. Or at least, that's what I believed. The house was large, but it felt empty. Too quiet. Too cold. Ethan needs stability, Mr. Reed told me during the interview. He's been through a lot. I didn't ask questions. I needed the job. My mother was sick, and hospital bills were growing. The first night I stayed, Ethan refused to sleep. He sat in the corner of his room holding a small toy car. "Mommy left," he whispered. My heart broke. I slowly sat beside him. "I won't leave," I promised gently. And I didn't. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. I wasn't just his nanny anymore. I was there for his first day of school. I helped him with homework. I held him when he cried after being bullied. I celebrated his birthdays. Every time he had a fever, he called my name, not his father's. "Lily," he would whisper weakly, "don't go." And I never did. Mr. Reed remained distant, but respectful. He worked long hours. Sometimes I would see him standing quietly outside Ethan's room, watching us laugh together. There was something heavy in his eyes. One evening, when Ethan was 7, he asked me a question that changed everything. "Are you my real mom?" My throat tightened. I knelt in front of him. "No, sweetheart," I said softly, "but I love you like one." He smiled and hugged me tightly. That night, I cried alone in my room because I knew loving him came with a risk. Years passed. Ethan grew taller, smarter, kinder. He started calling me Mom in public without thinking. The first time it happened, Mr. Reed froze, but he didn't correct him. And somewhere along the way, my feelings changed. Mr. Reed wasn't just my employer anymore. He was a father trying his best. A man carrying guilt I didn't understand. Then one afternoon, everything shattered. The doorbell rang. I opened the door. A woman stood there, elegant, calm, confident. "Hello," she said. "I'm Ethan's mother." My world stopped. I felt the air leave my lungs. "That's impossible," I whispered. She smiled slightly. "Not widowed, divorced." I stepped back. Mr. Reed came downstairs, his face turned pale. "Why are you here, Victoria?" he asked coldly. Victoria. So she had a name. "I've come for my son," she replied smoothly. "I'm ready to be a mother again." My hands started shaking. 8 years. 8 years of bedtime stories, school meetings, doctor visits, tears, laughter, and now she was ready. That night, Ethan overheard the argument. "Who is she?" he asked, standing in the hallway. Victoria knelt dramatically. I'm your real mommy." Ethan looked confused. Then he looked at me. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. Love doesn't come with legal rights. The next weeks were unbearable. Victoria started visiting often, bringing expensive gifts, taking Ethan out for ice cream, posting photos online. People began whispering, "She's the real mother. The nanny should step back." I tried to stay strong, but inside I was breaking. One evening, Ethan asked me quietly, "Are you going to leave?" I forced a smile. "I'll always be here for you." But I didn't know if that was true. Mr. Reed looked torn. "I never told you everything," he finally admitted to me one night. "She left when Ethan was 3 months old. She said motherhood wasn't for her. She wanted freedom." "And now?" I asked bitterly. "Now my company is successful. Now Ethan is older. Now it looks easier." That's when I understood. She didn't come back for love. She came back for comfort. If this story is touching your heart so far, please take a moment to subscribe to Silent Stories and support our channel. Days later, a legal letter arrived. Victoria was filing for shared custody. I felt physically sick. Court dates were scheduled. I prepared myself to step aside, because no matter how much I loved Ethan, I wasn't his biological mother. The court day came. Victoria looked perfect in a white suit, confident, prepared. When the judge asked Ethan who he felt safest with, the room fell silent. My hands were ice cold. Ethan stood up slowly. He walked past Victoria, past his father, and stopped in front of me. "She stayed," he said simply. "When I was scared, when I was sick, when I had nightmares." Tears filled my eyes. "She's my mom," he continued. "Maybe not by blood, but by heart." Even the judge looked moved. After reviewing the history and evidence of abandonment, the court granted primary custody to Mr. Reed. Victoria was given limited visitation. Outside the courtroom, she looked at me with something between anger and regret. "You were just a nanny," she said quietly. I looked at Ethan holding my hand. "No," I replied softly. "I was his mother when it mattered." Months later, something unexpected happened. Mr. Reed invited me to dinner, not as an employee, not as a nanny, but as Lillian. "I can't change the past," he said gently, "but I can choose the future." He looked nervous. "For 8 years, you loved my son unconditionally. And somewhere along the way, I started loving you too." My heart trembled, not because it was sudden, but because it wasn't. It had grown quietly, slowly, naturally. "I don't want you to stay out of obligation," he continued. "I want you to stay because you want to be part of this family." I looked at Ethan, laughing in the garden. "I already am," I whispered. A year later, we had a small wedding. No grand headlines, just honesty. Ethan walked me down the aisle. And when he hugged me afterward, he whispered the words I waited 8 years to hear. Thank you for never leaving, Mom. Sometimes motherhood is not about giving birth. It's about showing up. Again, and again, and again, and again.